सर्वमङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणे नमोस्तुते। ॐ रोगान् शेषान् अपहंसि तुष्टा रुष्टा तु कामान् सकलान् अभीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितानां न विपन्ननाः त्वामाश्रितायाश्रयताः। ॐ सर्वबाधा विनिर्मुक्तो धनधान्यसुतान्वितः मनुष्यो मत्प्रसादेन भविष्यति न संशयः। ॐ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विद्यारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ शान्तिः ॐ शान्तिः ॐ शान्तिः ॐ। So today we will be talking about Arjuna. This Arjuna tree is blessed by Lord Brahma, who has created us, who has created the whole universe, who has created all the food, vegetables, herbs. But this tree has a special blessing of Lord Brahma. It's one of the Divyaushadhi. There are several kinds of herbs. Only few herbs are designated as a super divine herbs, like a tulsi, like a brahmi, like a haritaki, guruchi. These herbs has a lot of divinity. What it means for us, Arjuna, what it means for us? It means that it can help you if you know how to use them. It can help you in so many ways. And particularly Arjuna. Arjuna, as you see, the name is after the Arjuna warrior. Arjuna warrior. When my father was teaching about this Arjuna, we have a lot of Arjuna in the forest, in our area, because these trees are having given long life, very sturdy, very long life. So what happened during the Mahabharata war, the warrior Arjuna, he had all the best possible wisdom lot of divine, his father was Indra. He's a king of gods. He gave him all kinds of weapon, all kinds of wisdom to fight the war, because he was a warrior and his birth was there to get rid of all the dark forces of that era. So he got a lot of blessings from his guru, and he was so lucky. The Lord Krishna, the God himself, was his charioteer. So he had everything. There was no need to freak out just before the war. Just both side, good side and bad side, Kaurava's side and Pandava's side, all were ready to fight. And he said, please wait, I'm getting nervous. I can't fight. All the symptoms of, Ayurvedically speaking, Sadhak Pitta imbalance was there. He was sweating, he was shaking. No, my God. I can see my relatives are there and everybody will die. And all the gods were watching that episode because the bad people were really bad. And somebody had to take arms to take care of them. Otherwise, everything was getting darker and darker and darker. And then Lord Krishna himself has to teach the whole Bhagavad Gita. But that was not even enough for him. He taught all the Bhagavad Gita, you are just the means, and I can see everybody is dying anyway. Whole Bhagavad Gita, like this body is just like a cloth, soul is never dying, all lecture he has given, all teaching, but even though, poor guy, he was not able to pick up the arms. Then at the end, Lord Krishna has to show his all Virat, heavy, all the Vishwarupa, Virat Rupa, so he can see that everybody's going, everybody's dying. He is not there. Then he finally picked up the arms. So either Arjuna was not this was not existing there, or Lord Brahma had created this tree. Whatever is true, we don't know all the story. But he gave this tree lot of years to survive, make it very sturdy, and give all the properties there to give strength to Arjuna, give strength to the heart, physical heart and emotional heart. So now we see what Shastras are saying about this, and then I will give you a little overview of, because it has other properties also, because if you have to take care of our heart, it has to have good impact on the blood tissue, good impact in the fat tissue. It should be nurturing the muscles. It should be enhancing the coordination between mind and the heart. So many things. So it has all the other properties, but everything is targeted to the heart. Like, for immune system, Guruji, for mind, Brahmi, for heart, Arjuna. For physical and emotional. Ashoka is also good for heart, but this is more emotional. This is physical and emotional. So see what Shastras are saying. First page, the verse, the first PowerPoint for the verse. Kukuvo Arjuna Makhyo Nadi Sarjasya Kirtitaha Indra Druvir Indra Indradu Veer Vrikshascha Veerascha Dhavala Smrita Kukubha Sitalo Hridya Chata Chaya Visasrajit Medo Meha Branan Hanti Tuvara Kapha Pitta Rit. The first two lines are all the names. So Kukuba means Kukub means it spreads in all direction. It's like really the trees are going into all the directions. Very nice shade it makes. Arjuna means this. Arjun means Arjun warrior, but Arjun means also the stems and the bark is white. White bark, white trunk. Then you have a Nadi Sarjasya Kirtita. They always love to be growing in the banks of big rivers. They need more water, so they grow there better. Then called Veerataru. Veerataru means warriors tree, tree of the warriors. Then you have Indradu, the tree of Lord Indra. Lord Indra blessed this tree for his son, because Arjuna was the son of Lord Indra. And Parth, because Parth is the synonym of warrior Arjuna, because it was designated to him. That's why one of the synonym of Arjuna is Parth. And then so these are the all names. Then you have Veerascha Dhavala Smrita. It's a Veerataru, Veera, warriors, makes you warrior. And it's a white. What it means, what kind of warrior? When your emotional and physical heart is strong, you can live in this Kali Yuga, because in this day and age, fighting with the stress, fighting with the day-to-day problem, fighting with the bad news out there, you have to have a warriorness in you. You can't just say, okay, I don't care what is happening in the world. It will come to you. Everything is not okay. People are chopping head and doing this and, every day you open the news and bad news is there. So whatever you do, you have to have a emotional and physical strength in your heart. If you have only one option to take care, heart or brain, we need all brain, but heart is first. Brain dead people can survive, but heart dead people cannot survive. So you have to take care of brain also, but you have to take care of the heart first. And the bad news is, the enemies of heart is more here in this Kali Yuga than the enemies of brain is also there. But see this EMF and this and that and bad food, inflammatory food, bad fat, bad protein, everything is impacting the heart. So basically, let me cover something else, then I will come to the words in the meantime. To take care of the heart, then you will understand this herb better. In terms of Vata, Pitta, Kapha, sub doshas and the dhatus, heart, the first thing about the pranic energy, whatever prana we are receiving, brain needs lot of prana, but more pranic energy in terms of lunar energy, Soma, solar energy, Agni, and etheric energy, Marut, more consumption is there. More consumption of this cosmic electricity, prana, is in the heart, because heart has to run. There is a cosmic pacemaker. Think about it. The cosmic pacemaker is there. When that pacemaker is going wrong, something, then they have to put the pacemaker. So, if you think the pranic energy is an electrical energy, it consumes more prana than the brain, because this is the machine which has to beat from day one when it starts to beat and the end until end of the life. So, other factor is, if you know about Ayurveda, the ojas factor. Ojas is the gist of our food. Ojas you make when you are happy. Ojas is like a neurotransmitter. So we have two kind of ojas. One like one handful. Ardhanjali pramana ojas, like a half anjali. That depends how old you are, how big your hand is, that much ojas. But another ojas is called param ojas, the upper ojas, only 8 drops. And what Charak Samhita says that if that 8 drop is reducing even little bit, soul is running away from the body. So we think that 8 drop ojas is in the heart, and that is the glue between the gem, like a soul, gem is soul, and in the heart. So what happens, you need more prana there, more soma there, because oja somatmakam. The raw material of the ojas is soma. So you have the proper supply of all 3 components of prana, but the proper supply of the soma to support the ojas. Support the ojas, that 8 drops, so it is never getting even little less. And the overall ojas, which governs your mind, neurotransmitters. And mind has, how much, if you're stressed out, your heartbeat goes high because mind needs more oxygen. So heart and mind have very, very direct relationship. So that's why you need more ojas enhancing herbs, more ojas enhancing food. Also, in the dosha system, you need how many dosas, which dosas are governing, because if you are interested in Ayurveda, you should know 1 pitta dosha called sadhak pitta. Sadhak pitta is governing emotional heart. So sadhak pitta is governing emotional heart, so you need to support, balance the sadhak pitta. Dhyan vata, one of the vata, Dhyan vata is operating through the heart, which is supporting the pumping of the heart, the rhythm of the heart, the pump of the heart, pumping system of the heart. Then there is one more vata called Udana vata, which is governing the whole environment of the area of the chest, including the balancing factor for the heartbeat. One very, very specific kapha we have called Avlambak kapha, which is also supporting the heart. Avlambak kapha, when Avlambak kapha is out of balance, then what happens?
No confidence.
You lose confidence. Whenever you lose confidence, like even a small bad news comes to you, you feel 2 ways. If your Avlambak kapha is not out of balance, you will feel, don't worry, this is just the time. When good time will come, everything will be all right. But when your Avlambak kapha is out of balance, even the small stressful situation comes, you will say, oh my God, I sneeze 5 times. Maybe I have that
Ebola.
Ebola. Yeah, you will feel like, oh my goodness.
Everybody's scared of that.
Yeah, they're scaring more so they can make vaccine and everybody will.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why Ebola. It is a problem, but there's so many ways. So this whole situation, and then in the dhatus, in the tissues, you have to have perfect blood tissue to support your heart. The blood has to be pure. Blood has to be intelligent to supply the proper oxygen, proper nutrients to the heart. The fat has to be good. You know all about this cholesterol thing. Fat has to be pure. Fat has to be non-polluted. Fat has to be intelligent. And your muscle tissue, the heart has a very specific structure of the muscle. The muscle tissue, because it pumps for whole life. So the muscle tissue has to be perfect. And of course, the good kind of calcium, heart needs good kind of calcium. Heart needs calcium, but good kind of calcium. The bone tissue, and of course bone marrow for more intelligence, and good ojas. So now we will see how this Arjuna from the Shastras, and then I will describe what I have created and why I have to this product for Arjuna. Just one more. So let us see what Ayurvedically it says. Kukuba means Arjuna. Sitalo, it's a cooling, not cold, cooling. Hridyaha. Hridaya means heart. Wherever you have some dhyaha, like a medhya for brain, medha means mind, medha means intellect, good for intellect, called medhya. Good for heart, we call hridyaha. Hridyaha, chhata chaya visastra jit. It has a wonderful wound healing property. Any stretch, any scar, it can. So any scar, any stretch is there, it heals that. And then Visasrajit. Visha means poison, toxin. Asra means blood. It purifies blood. It purifies blood. Because now what I told you, you need a clean, more intelligent and clean blood. If your blood is polluted, it is going again and again and again and again there. It turns, the whole body's blood goes in and out, in and out. And if the blood has inflammatory protein or inflammatory toxins or pesticide, this is going to create inflammation in the heart or blockage in the heart. So it cleans blood. Then Medo Meh Pranan Hanti. Meda means fat. Meda means fat. It cleans the fat. You have to have a clean and intelligent fat for perfect health of the heart. Medo Meha Prananandi. Meha means sugar problem. Meha means when sugar comes out of the urine. It means it helps the sugar metabolism also. Because all these factors are related. If somebody has sugar metabolism problem, eventually they are getting heart problem. And also Branan, again, any long-term scratch is there, long-term inflammation is there. After long-term use, it helps. And then Tubra means Arjun, one of the name of the Arjun, fast growing. Tubra means fast growing tree. Kapha Pitta, it is Kapha and Pitta pacify. Kapha, see the white is so special. Kapha needs hot treatment and Pitta needs cold treatment. But that's how and that's why we call Arjuna divine herb. There is a divinity in it because a single herb, the same herb, is pacifying Kapha and Pitta, which needs two different energies. But this is raising a question. It is not Tridosha pacifying. It means you have to, whenever you use Arjuna, you have to keep in your mind that it will, how many subdosas we are talking? It will pacify Sadhak Pitta. It will pacify Avalamba Kapha. But there is two Vata there to support in Tridosha, in dosic wise. Two subdosas are there of Vata, Vyana Vata and Udana Vata. It is not going to pacify Udana Vata and Vyana Vata because it is not Vata pacifying. It will not aggravate your Vata, but it is not Vata pacifying. These are like a micro-analysis of the herb. And why we have to know that, that's why in Shastras, they say, mainly all the formulas, in a classical formula, they say, make Arjun Cheer. Put Arjuna in milk, and a little bit of ghee, or just in a whole milk, and drink that milk. But nowadays, number one, getting good milk is a problem. A lot of people are intolerant. So then I had to do something, and I will tell you what I have done for it. And the another Shastra, let's what it says. This was from Bhav Prakash, the first one. Bhav means Raj Bhav Prakash. The another one is from Raj Nigantu. Arjunastu kasayoshna kafagno branasodana pitta srama trisarti agno maruta maya kopana. Why I picked this herb? Because it's from another, like a different Shastras has different way to see the herb, same herb. What says Arjunastu means Arjuna, kasayosna is astringent and hot. Astringent in the taste and hot. Means not too heating but warming. And kafagno, it is specifying kapha, and branasodana, cleaning the stretches, cleaning the scar. There is a lot of inflammatory scars here and there due to inflammation. And it slowly is anti-inflammatory, that's why it cleans the scars and heals the scars. Then, pitta srama trisartigno, specifying pitta. Srama means fatigue. It is helping you to getting rid of fatigue because a lot of researchers are saying it increases the oxygen supply to the cellular system. So it is specifying pitta and trisartigno. Trisha means when you have excessive thirst, non-controllable thirst. So it is specifying that. And Maruta Maya Kopanaha, yeah, it's saying that if you have any, it has, I was wrong that it is not aggravating Vata, but it says that if you have any Vata disease, it can aggravate the Vata disease. Marut means Vata also, Amay means disease, and Kopan means aggravation. So if you have already any Vata disease, typical Vata disease like sciatica or Parkinson's, these are 80 kind of Vata diseases.
Constipation.
Chronic constipation. So many, any sharp shooting pain, it can increase. This is a caution here. But another one. The Raj Ballabh, the another text says, Partha Pathya Chate Bhagne Rakta Stambana Vitriyo. Partha means Arjuna. Pathya means good food for any inside scratches and scars. Good for Bhagne means broken bones, broken cartilages. It is good to repair the broken bone. If somebody has bone injury, they can take this. Rakta Stambana Krichyo. It is thickening, little bit thickening to the blood, but that's telling you if somebody is in a blood thinner, they should not do Arjuna. If somebody is in blood thinner, Coumadin or any blood thinner, they should not do Arjuna. And if anybody has retains krichyo, means the mutra krich, anybody has retention in urine due to aggravation of vata, painful urination, they should not do Arjuna.
We're talking about the raw plant or crude plant.
Yeah. We are talking about the crude plant, not the formula. The last one from Gangadhar, Hridamaye Arjunasya Tvajasiddham Chiram Yojya Hridamaye Sitya Panchamulyava Balaya Madhukenava. This is a recipe they are saying that in heart disease, Hrida means heart, Amaya means disease. In heart disease, Arjunasya Tvacha means the bark. Siddham Chirayojyam Hridamaya. Whatever saying that, they say that you should take the bark, crude bark powder, and boil with milk, and you can give in a heart to nourish the heart, to supply more prana to the heart, balancing those. Sitya Panchamulyava Balaya Madhukenva. There is a group of 5 roots, Panchamula, like a half of the 10 mula. So you can mix with that also to pacify the side effects, like a vata aggravating effect. And you can give that. But what I have done, to make it safe and effective, so that it is covering the vata pacification effect also. That's when the formula comes into the picture. Otherwise, every herbs has some aggravation like that. That's why the samyog and samskar comes. The combination. That's why the formulas are there. So what I have done, first thing is, all the extracts out there in the market, Because Arjuna is so famous nowadays, because you will see hundreds of researchers are out there just helping in this and that. Heart, since last 30 years, it has been in limelight for heart. But what they do, they derive extract using solvents, benzene, hexene. It's cheaper. It kills the bacteria. But I am using the ancient formula for my all the extracts. Water is my solvent, and we steam and we get the water soluble fraction and we concentrate it in a slow dehydrator, and that's what we use in my all the herbs. So I ran out of the total Arjuna tablets like 3 years ago, but I was not getting the good bark because it's so much high in demand. Now we had it, and then about a month ago, I got only 10 kilo of extract. And then what I have done, I added organic, my Arjuna is all wild crafted from the wild. And then I added my favorite rose petal. Rose petal is adding up little more sadhak pitta pacification, because we have more sadhak pitta aggravation here than anywhere else. In the more sadhak pitta, more emotional trauma. In India also catching there, but here you have more. So I added the organic rose petal there, the same thing which I make the rose petal jam. And to take care of the vata, because rose petal also takes care of pitta and vata. But especially to specify the vata aggravation quality, I added Ayurvedic oral calcium to it. It will pacify the vata, particularly Vyana vata and Udana vata. And I put all three together. There is a process, when you do this process called Gunadhan, the prabhava of all three gets together. And then I put in a veggie. So it's ready now. I was waiting for everything together, arriving, for 3 years. So what happens, we are covering everything. Number one, we are avoiding the vata aggravation property by adding rose petal and Ayurvedic coral calcium, so that now it is supporting all the tissues, muscle tissue, blood tissue, fat tissue. You heard the sutra. All three tissues are supported by Arjuna. The bone tissue will be supported by coral calcium. And rose is very good to enhance ojas and taking care of your emotional problems of the heart. So all three things together. And of course, sadhak pitta is covered by Arjuna and rose. So this formula has all the components. This is safe for everybody. But the only thing I will still say, that if somebody is in blood thinner, don't take chance. It will not harm, but you never know. There are different degree of, there must be taking more medicines and whatever. But other than that, it is this capsule called, I named it Arjuna Plus. It is good for almost everybody, based on all these shastras. So now we have a plan that everybody will do little samadhi set. with Arjuna, you are giving everybody this. With just using Arjuna do Samadhi set, and then today Dr. Melina will explain the scientific findings. Okay?
So is everybody familiar with the Samadhi set?
I think everybody. Anybody not?
No.
With
So the
that.
Samadhi set is, Vajra didn't talk also about how he has different ways of giving you the benefit of herbs. Like, for example, with Arjuna, you can either take the food Arjuna, make a tea out of it or a concoction, or the traditional way of doing it is like they make it into a capsule or a tablet. But Vaidya has innovated, getting inspired by modern technologies, but also everything exists in Ayurveda already, right? It's just a matter of knowing how to interpret and read it. And he has new ways of actually helping us use herbs. So he has made the transdermal system, which is when you get the property and the benefit of the herbs through your skin by applying it on your skin, and also through specific Marma points. So that's one way. And another way he has done it is by putting the intelligence of the herbs in a very concentrated form in vegetable glycerine base. So and then he calls those herbal memory nectar drops. So you get the actual intelligence of like the herb. So if you get Arjuna herbal memory nectar drops, it goes into your body. You're not getting the physical properties, but you get that which the Arjuna molecule will do in terms of healing you on a cellular level. And the final other way that he has of giving you the herbs is through his roll-ons, which is again the transdermal way, but instead of a lipid base, it's a water base. So he has put together what we call the Samadhi set, which consists of the Arjuna, the Tulsi, and the Brahmi. We call it the Samadhi set because these three herbs together actually can make your body go into Samadhi, which is considered the ultimate state of balance, peaceful bliss, and joy that the Vedic texts talk about. Because, Ayurveda has special plants that carry that divinity that can induce that state of calm and balance in your physiology so your mind can transcend and experience the eternal bliss. So this is the Samadhi set. So we're going to do just the Arjuna today, if you can distribute it. And the way it works is we apply the Arjuna on the heart Marma points. The Marma points are energetic points in Ayurveda. A lot of people think of them in terms of the energy points in Chinese acupuncture. They're similar but different. First of all, it predates the Chinese, so it's more ancient. And in Ayurveda, we never puncture or put needles in them because they're very sensitive points. And we have 4 points, total 5 actually, that are connected directly to the heart in the physiology. And they are found in the center of your palms. Those are the 2 points. And then they're found also on your feet, where the arch is, at the midpoint of the arch. We'll just do the hands today. You can do the feet, at home, because you'll all have the Arjuna with you now. Can I get one too?
Is this an enhanced formula or same formula?
Same formula. Feet are called Kala Hridya, which means extensions of the heart. Which means this is like whatever you do on these points, it's like you're directly massaging your vibrational, emotional heart. This is not about the physical heart. We're talking about the vibrational and emotional heart. So we're going to do this. You can also smell it because the aromas in the formula also have a therapeutic benefit to them. He's not just put them, so it smells good. It has rose, which, like he was explaining, is very soothing to the heart. So you can smell it, and then you tilt it a little bit. You're going to go clockwise, which means you have a clock in the palm of your hand. So it'll be 12, 3, 6, 9. So you're going to go clockwise, and you can go up to the size of a quarter, 25 cents. And then you close your eyes, and just, you can put your attention on your breathing, close your eyes and relax, and just keep going round. We usually go 7 or 14 times or 21 times. It's the magic number, and I'll tell you why in a little. So let's just do it first. You can start with your left hand. Go slowly. Don't rush. Breathe in nicely and stop applying the roll-on. Take your thumb, the thumb of your right hand, and then press on the same area and breathe in and breathe out. And let's do the same thing on the right hand. Press down with the thumb of your left hand. Breathe in. Breathe out and release. So what we've done now is we've actually taken in Arjuna into our body through the Marma point transdermally with this roll-on, and it has directly, immediately gone into the bloodstream and into the heart, and it has nourished and nurtured and calmed us down already. You know, there's a calming effect also to massaging the Marma point, going clockwise, because that's what prana is. Vajja talks a lot about prana and Marma points. You can read on his website. So this is a wonderful thing to do, you know, before meditation, before yoga. If you're feeling extra stress, you know, any time of the day, you can do it as many times as you'd like. Your chest in the middle, that's also the heart Marma. So, but over there, you will not press with your thumb finger. You just apply it, and then you can cup your hand and put it on top and breathe in and breathe out to help release the stress. So we just wanted you to experience, this is, you know, one way of getting the Arjuna, not just through oral, but this is the transdermal system through roll-ons. There's also the same thing you can do with the shea butter cream if you prefer the more, you know, lipid, fatty, you know, rich base, but these are great. So otherwise, we're going to go over the scientific research. Vajja covered the sutras and the shastras knowledge, and you have the handouts about the science of Ayurveda. So let's look at that and see what they are finding out. So first, I'd like to say that this presentation was put together by Daria, who couldn't make it today because she was not feeling well. And she's the one, you know, with the scientific brain who goes and searches out all the studies and everything. So thank you for her, and we miss having her here today. But so let's look at the first slide, which tells us where this plant comes from. It's always good to know, you know, where it originates. And you'll see that it's mostly in Asia. It's very popular. Like Vajja was saying, you can use all of it. There's not one part of Arjuna that, you know, is not usable. It's a huge, beautiful tree with a whitish bark, whitish, you know, bark color to it. And you can use the bark, you can use the leaves, the flowers, the twigs, anything, you name it. And it has, you know, of course, different results in terms of how you are processing it and which part you are using. It's more concentrated, less concentrated, so on and so forth. But the bark is the part that's used most commonly in Ayurveda and also in modern medicine when they're doing research. You'll see that it has so many names. You can find it in different texts under different names, and this is a sign that it's a very popular plant or herb, which means that it has a lot of healing properties. So research has found so many healing properties for Arjuna. We have the full list there for you. Anti-atherosclerotic, antibacterial, cancer, diabetic, fungal, inflammatory, antioxidant, so on and so forth. These are all such key buzzwords nowadays. And the biggest property, though, that has been found in Arjuna is that it helps in cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases. Let's go to the next slide. And in order to understand why Arjuna has become so popular with heart disease and the treatment of heart diseases, we have here an idea of how big of a disease this is. You know, you have, Daria has put together the incidences of cardiovascular disease and how it's literally taking over the world. And it's a worldwide epidemic. And it's because of that, because Ayurveda talks at length about how Arjuna is good for the heart. And that is why, because we have an epidemic, that this interest has arisen in, you know, the potential benefits of using an herb like Arjuna. Because nothing else that we are doing here in the West, it's still ongoing research, but nothing that we are doing is actually helping with this epidemic. So they're looking desperately for something that can help them resolve this epidemic. So she's done some, you know, research for us. We don't need to go into detail about why cardiovascular diseases actually, you know, come to be. It has to do with inflammation. And the inflammatory process, you know, you cannot get sick unless you have inflammation in your body. And once you have inflammation, it's going to have different ways of expressing itself based on your own physiology and its tendencies. And inflammation has many root causes, but diet is a very big one. You know, a bad lifestyle where you're not, you don't have a balance between rest and work. And stress, of course, is a big factor. So these are all things that they recommend. For example, that you lower eating foods that have high cholesterol, you don't smoke, so on and so forth. So she's showing us how cardiovascular diseases can arise from having all these factors come in together. This is important because Arjuna is known to have an anti-inflammatory property. So that's why we are highlighting the fact that, you know, Arjuna is an anti-inflammatory. So if your heart disease is directly resulting from, you know, an inflammatory condition, then, you know, it's a good thing for you to add to your daily consumption. High blood pressure, cholesterol, and smoking are key risk factors for coronary heart disease. Poor diet, physical inactivity, being overweight, so on and so forth. Let's go to the next slide. And another very important property of Arjuna is its being an antioxidant. And here you can see what an antioxidant does. It neutralizes free radicals. And free radicals are chemicals that steal electrons from the fats and cell membranes in a process called lipid. This is all a little bit very scientific. You can delve into it more in your own time. But basically, you want to have as many antioxidants in your diet. If you're not getting it from your diet, then it's a good idea to get it from herbal supplements. And Arjuna is a good, very good antioxidant to add to help you combat inflammation and any other conditions that arise out of that. And let's go to the next slide. Again, Arjuna helps with platelets. If you have condition where blood clotting is causing some problems, which is again tied into, you know, heart attacks and coronary disease, Arjuna is the way to go. Because the only other things that we have on the market are drugs like aspirin or anticoagulants, Coumadin, which is a very popular one, and they all have side effects. So if you want to get the benefit without having the side effect, then Arjuna would be a good way for you to go. Let's go to the next slide. Arjuna is known to be cardioprotective. It means that it helps support and preserve the heart by reducing or preventing myocardial damage. Anything that can, damage your heart physically, Arjuna is there to help rebuild it and rejuvenate it. So this is a very big, what you do with Western medicine is you try to suppress or eliminate the symptoms, but you don't really have anything to help you rebuild the heart tissue, to help you rejuvenate the heart. Even if you do, a diet low in high cholesterol, which now even has become, an iffy question, because they just discovered that you do need to consume more fat than they were telling you to. They were telling you to eat low fat or no fat, thinking that it's going to reduce, heart disease over the past 40 years. And now all of a sudden they just discovered, oh my God, no, you need to eat fat in order to maintain good heart health. So they've reversed everything upside down. So we don't really have anything in Western medicine to rejuvenate and restore the heart. What we do is always, we try to prevent things, or when they do happen, we try to suppress the symptoms. So having a plant or an herb like Arjuna that has a property like cardioprotection is a very big deal. Then cholesterol lowering. I mean, oh my God, 90% of people that I know have problems with cholesterol. The only thing they do is they stop eating fats, or they'll eat all kinds of crazy fats. Or, of course, the doctor automatically, as a preventative measure, puts you on Lipitor and so many other drugs that have such harmful side effects. To have something that you can consume on a regular basis that will support your liver and your heart, that will lower your cholesterol, is nothing short of, a miracle. So that's, another reason why we view it as a sacred or a divine herb. In the next slide, we see studies that have been done to show Arjuna's antioxidant and cholesterol-lowering actions. And they are very conclusive. They are, very convincing. And they show that, yes, it's there, it's real, it's not something that's being just theoretically posited. Let's go to the next slide. Another trial that talks about how Arjuna can stop the development of atherosclerosis, which is another, it's the buildup in your arteries that leads to heart attacks. So it's another, it's part of the logic of how we try to steer clear of having heart attacks here in the West, is by trying to address issues and the health of the arteries directly, without necessarily looking into diet and all that. And even there, Arjuna is helpful. In the next slide, we see Arjuna's antiplatelet properties. And another study, again, helps us conclude that Arjuna bark extract decreases platelet activation and may be therapeutic in the case of coronary and other cardiovascular disorders. In the next slide, we have the anti-anginal and cardioprotective actions. Most importantly, in these results, we see that there were no side effects that were reported and no changes in the liver or kidney function tests were seen. So that's a very good news. And next slide. In this study, the Arjuna tree bark extract was used, and it proved to be safe and to have lasting improvements for the signs and the symptoms of heart failure. So baseline, if we go to the final slide, the biggest thing is that not only Arjuna has, beneficial properties, balancing properties, rejuvenative properties, preventative properties for the heart, but most of all, for science, which is very significant, it had no side effects. See, but this is where and why Ayurveda should always be there. Because from the Ayurvedic perspective, there are side effects if you don't know how to use it. If you use it, in the improper dosage, or if you use it on patients who have vata vitiation, then you can create more problems. In terms of, like Vaidya was saying, they just take the active ingredients or chemicals in the Arjuna bark, they isolate it, and then they test it. And they're testing it on a much more surface level. They are not aware of all the properties, because in science we have a different conception of the physiology as well. Our understanding of the body in the West is different from our understanding of the body in Ayurveda. There's many more layers. There are benefits to having, and seeing things the way we do in the West, but there are many more layers. And the doshas, the way of understanding the physiology through doshic imbalances does not exist in the West. So for science, there are no side effects with Arjuna. But with Ayurveda, we know that we have to be cautious. And in order to make sure that we don't vitiate vata, we have to take precautions of either using it with other herbs that will pacify vata, or using it in a medium like milk, like Vaidya was explaining, that is vata pacifying, so that you not only get the full benefits, but you also, don't run the risk of imbalancing vata. So as you can see, Arjuna is a very, impressive herb, to say the least, and it's definitely something you want to have in your daily life. Even if you don't need to do the actual crude herb, even if you just do it like this, as a roll-on, just doing it on the Marma points, you will get tremendous benefit for Sadak Pitta, which is, the emotional heart that can go off any time of the day in this stressful day and age. So that's it, I guess.
Well,
thank you.
Any question?
So assuming it's safe to use Arjuna with the Ashoka and Brahmi and those other.
Yes. Arjuna is a good combination. Arjuna, Ashoka, and Brahmi. Then you are covering your mind, you are covering your extra emotion. Because what I see in my patient since last 15 years, lot of problem is there due to emotional challenges here. Lot of problem. So as much as support you give to emotional heart, as much as it's best. So you can add Ashoka, and of course mental stress is mounting every day, new kind of stress. So if you cover your emotional heart, physical heart and the mind, Brahmi, Ashoka and Arjuna. And the best part is this transdermal absorption is working. It's I had a crude bark, so I didn't need the extracts for that. And I'm always having this Arjuna transdermal and now roll-on. It helps so many people. But now we have a capsule also, so it will help even more to the physical heart. To vibrational heart, transdermals, roll-on and cream helps a lot. But for physical heart, you need something physical. So this capsule, Arjuna Plus, is going to be great. And yes, you can use Brahmi and Ashoka. Any more question? Yes, Gail?
This may be too simplistic a question, but when I'm looking at the slides, I'm thinking, would Arjuna be helpful for someone with leukemia?
It is not, we have different herbs for that. See, we play in Ayurveda with minimum 700 herbs. That's why we have specific herbs for specific things. This is mainly in Ayurveda. If you see the Shastras, everybody is targeting this for the heart. But, to help in those things, we have a Guruji, we have wild turmeric. A new herb came to me now called, you can do some research on that, called Vinca rosea. You must know the chemo name vincristine. It came from this plant, Vinca rosea. So after long struggle, we got 10 kilo of this now. So it has some side effects, like, every herb has some side effects. Because if they're helping you this way, there's another way. It's like that is like natural. So this Vinca rosea has a side effect. It is a very good kind of herbal chemo, but it has some side effect on bone marrow if you do the crude herb. That's why I'm making transdermals and the nectar drop of this herb. So we will extremely minimize, or maybe there will be no side effect. But the prabhava, the prabhava will be there. So Vinca rosea, and Hindi called Sadabahar, you might have seen the flowers, very multiple white, purple color flowers. They're very beautiful. Vinca rosea, called Vinca rosea. They derived two kind of chemo from that, vincristine and some one, I forgot the name. But vincristine is very famous for chemo, derived from that plant. Yeah. Any other?
Yeah.
Yes?
About the application of the Arjuna when you have the room. I always thought that you just apply a little drop and you spread it with your finger. I've never seen that you do 7 circles with the actual roll-on. Is that okay or too
you
much?
You can do that. Yeah, not too much. It is because when you have, the roll-on has, you can have your own roll-on and you can roll it and have a little more extra. No problem. No problem. It will not harm you. It will support more. Yeah.
Speaking of that, since we're talking about that, I noticed you started with the left hand. I thought we start on the right. Is that?
You can start any hand, but left is for women is better than right. So no, it doesn't matter that much any hand.
Okay, that was just one question I have. But another is, are blood thinners? Are blood thinners the only thing we have to worry about?
Yes. Okay. Basically in the science,
aspirin and Coumadin.
They are not considering that. But I will recommend, if doctor has recommended you blood thinner, don't do Arjuna. Okay. See, we do more micro. They do over
but
surface.
Don't do like Arjuna supplements or tablets, but you can do roll-on.
Yeah, roll-on you can. Roll-on, see,
drop.
This is the beauty of the drop, because we capture only the good things. There is no physical molecule there, very nanoparticles. So that's why I made these creams and drops for all the herbs. So number one, there is no herb-drug interaction with drops or creams, and there is no side effect. Because it's just like a homeopathic, even better than homeopathic, because homeopaths are using alcohol, which has something is burning or what?
Milk.
So basically, homeopathy using, for basic extraction, they use alcohol. I'm not using alcohol, I'm using vegetable glycerin. So the soma is protected, and more vegetable glycerin is full of soma. So soma gives like a earthy stability, capturing the molecules, and it doesn't go bad. Doesn't need any, and I preserve with the flower essences. I have no preservative there. So this system, I will make this Vinca rosea also, and I'm hoping that it will help more people. I had to do a lot of drill, but the whole herb came all the way to Louisiana. They sieved out, went back to India again. Then we have to do more paperwork to get in. So we have now. It will help a lot of people. Nowadays, a lot of new herbs are coming. My system is there, and more efficient system is there. And now more and more, you will see more and more new herbs We have to get another warehouse where we can keep all those herbs, alphabetically. Otherwise, everybody's getting confused. The new names, Sanskrit names, So it's all that lot of good news. Okay, thank you.
Is the drops as effective as tablets?
Oh yes.
Because you said the tablets you are having is somacal.
No, basically, if you want to support more physical, there is a structural benefit and functional benefit. So drops and creams will support the functions of the heart, functions of the bone, But if you want to support the structure of the bone, the physical structure of the bone, you have to have somacal capsule. If you want to support the structure of the heart rapidly, see the structure and function of any organ or system, both are depending on each other. If function is good, absorption will be good. If structure is good, function will be good, because the function is lying in the structure. And the structure is depending on the function. So that's why in acute cases, I give both. I give all three, physical and drop. But drop is helping structure also because they have a nanoparticle. Drop will help, but primarily function, then structure. But if somebody has structural damage in the heart, I will recommend now the capsule. Because you have to support both. And it's a practical approach. But that's why I'm giving more caution. Also, why I have added the rose petal and the calcium to minimize the side effect. Vata aggravation will be not there. But still it will have, if it will not thicken the blood, it will not support the blood thinners. So I have done a lot of research on herb-drug interaction and, so I have to be truthful. I have to even contradict the research, so what to do? Because whatever is truth, we have to say the truth.
So if somebody has high cholesterol but doesn't have heart problems,
that will be wonderful, but see...
Would you give Arjuna or something else plus Arjuna?
See, what we will do, we will give Arjuna, which will increase the intelligence of the detoxification of the fat. But then we'll give another herb. That's how the prescription theory is. Then I will give, for cholesterol, gugulu, but I give salai gugulu, sallaki. The frankincense. Frankincense is very good for Boswellia serrata, Boswellia. It has a lot of research.
Yeah.
It is lowering the cholesterol without heating the liver. And another research has been done, great research, double-blind placebo clinical trial on moringa leaves. Moringa leaves, they have done research in India. One group was on statin drugs, one group was getting placebo, and one group was doing the moringa leaves. The moringa leaf group, they lowered the cholesterol 20% more than the statin drugs. Not only without side effect, side benefits. Moringa leaf has side benefits. So those researches has been done, but again, any research you do in India, not approved by FDA, USA, you cannot call a moringa drug as a cholesterol lowering agent, but that who cares? We knew before, but now we have some basis. That's why what I recommend, adopt moringa in your diet, either moringa leaves or soup or something, because it has a wide range. There's a 32-page review research article from US University, from Stanford or some East Coast University, 32-page review article on moringa for so many side benefits on kidney, on liver, on brain, and eyes, and all. So yeah.
When you say incorporated in the diet, do you mean in addition to taking tablets or drinking the tea, also eat the leaf?
No, either you do the tea or the leaf, one thing. because this is a
soup
diet.
powder. I think there's a soup mix.
Yeah.
We have a soup mix. See, the thing is, something you put in your food, something you put in your water, and something put on your skin. You are covering all the areas. That's what God has given me, this ability to create food, create drops, and create capsules. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of capsules. You eat food anyway. Add some spices, some cholesterol-lowering spices like fenugreek. Add moringa. And massage oil. From massage oil, you get some transdermal magnesium, some transdermal vitamin D. So, you get massage, you get benefit of the massage, benefit nice skin. The creams, a lot of time people are saying, oh, one thing like, I got a lot of benefit from your cream, but my skin became so nice. So, side benefits, not side effect.
Regarding frankincense, for example, I have like a pure frankincense oil. If I were to put that in let's say, some coconut oil or some kind of carrier oil and then massage it in the feet every night, would that
You
help
can do
with
that.
cholesterol?
You can do that. No.
Oh.
For cholesterol, you have to oral.
You have to what?
Oral.
Oh, it has to be oral.
Yeah, but for that you have to have a really pure frankincense.
Right. Correct.
We have most pure frankincense.
Mm-hmm.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. More chairs.
I have.
You can just get that chair. Namaste. Yeah, you can sit there. You can sit there. Yeah,
Sure.
fine. Yeah.
That's fine.
So frankincense, you have to be very careful. It has to be purified for oral use.
Oh,
For
yeah,
oral.
right.
It has to be purified. A lot of contamination coming. So we have the best frankincense and what we call healthy joint. Now it is helping on joints also because bone, it is good for bone.
Okay.
So our new healthy joint formula is full of frankincense.
They're saying now that the frankincense helps to repair DNA. That's what
Yes.
they're saying. It's so powerful.
Lot of if you do research on what is the name?
Frankincense?
Frankincense.
Yeah.
Latin name. What's the name of the
Boswellia
Boswellia serrata.
Yeah.
It's a famous by the name of Boswellia serrata. So many DNA repairing,
Yeah.
cholesterol lowering, good for healing fractures, so many things.
I use it for my client that has MS.
You can do it. It is good for opening. What happens? He opens the deeper channels, bone channels, fat channels. So it is very good. It is very good. The Mahakachanar cream, we have a Kachanar, which is very famous herb like like Arjuna for heart. Kachanar is for any unusual growth. Glandular, any unusual glandular growth. That Kachanar is like that. I know like a Kachanar called this unusual glandular growth is called arbud in Ayurveda. Unusual growth.
Female growths as well?
Female, male.
Like any area?
Any area.
Okay.
So that's why I made this Mahakachanar cream and I added Kachanar and frankincense in a very high dose. Very high dose. So that's why I gave a person who has a thyroid or ovarian, cancer or breast cancer, I give them. And we have a Mahakachanar drops also, which has Kachanar and Boswellia. So, there is a whole list of the herbs. Which herb is good for, mainly good for what condition? Which herb is good for what condition? We have a whole list of 150 herbs like that. That gives us the guidance. one herb has 10 properties, but what God has made for what specific organ or system or condition.
Where's the list? You have the list?
someday you will learn that also.
So what do you recommend for osteoarthritis? What is the cartilage prana?
Bone herb, we have a special herb called bone herb, and I use that very frequently. Bone herb. See, the cartilage you have to help with the herb, bone herb, plus you have to give some good kind of calcium, and you have to eat bone marrow soup.
Chicken.
Chicken bone marrow
Not
soup.
beef.
But why would you be a vegetarian?
Good question. Vegetarian, you can have some coconut. Coconut also helps. And suran. Suran is very good for supporting bone marrow. Suran is a tuber, S-U-R-A-N. Suran is a tuber, which is very good for building the bone marrow and cartilages. And also this is very good for hemorrhoids.
Indians frozen you get.
But it is very good.
Frozen
आपने
is
भेजा था,
good.
हमने 80% खत्म कर दिया उसको.
अच्छा लगा.
Yeah, because this suran is very tough kind of tuber. Even though they clean and cut and freeze, it's still some prana. A lot of prana is there. I don't like fresh frozen vegetable, but I like this suran.
I was waiting for that answer.
What?
Because I know you don't like frozen.
No, but this one,
Yeah.
because Babiji always makes, because since I told them they always, I think 2-3 times a week you eat, because it is good for so many things.
Prostate.
Prostate, it shrinks the prostate also. So this one I like because it is very tough kind of tuber, and it is banned in USA.
Oh, it is?
It's
Yeah.
banned? So
The whole is banned.
whole is banned.
Yeah, because it has the scientific name of this is called Kenjak Manon, CANJAKMANON. So what happened in 70s? This tuber went so much. Japanese scientists has done so much research, supporting the immune system, supporting getting rid of so much research you will find, and particularly supporting the immune system of the kids. So there is a two kind of suran. One kind of suran is a domestic suran, which is not itchy on the tongue or on the throat. The wild one, when you cut it, I have done this, when you cut it, itches so much. And if you eat that, it can twist your... So for adult it is okay. But what they have done, some crazy people, they made candy of Kenjak Manon and supplied to US.
But the Japanese did that.
Japanese. And then few kids died by choking.
Oh.
70s. Then since then it is banned. So you will not find here very, sometimes by fluke, but otherwise in Canada they are selling openly. There's no
Probably
problem.
don't know yet, that's why.
No, because that was a mistake. That was a mistake. You don't eat that.
But
That's
why?
not edible.
The Japanese are eating it though.
No, they are not. Sometimes they don't check it. Don't say this is a domestic or wild.
Oh, maybe.
Nobody is eating that in India. If you see it is itching, okay, throw this one. You don't, because if you eat that, your whole throat.
It's itchy.
Sometimes they say you can pacify that itchiness by putting the lime or lemon, but it's not happening.
Are you planning on making any transdermal or drops from Suran? Anytime soon?
I am saying you should just buy
The frozen.
frozen and ask Babiji which company she is buying. It's a wonderful. Every company is different. कौन सा company का है?
Ek Ashoka and one
Ashoka.
is Deep. Both are good.
Very nice, very nice. I have few cubes. She sent me today few cubes. I ate a lot. I didn't give to her. I gave you? No.
No, You sent a lot, so we each had a portion. Then he's like, "Give me more." I said, "Okay, I'm putting them. How much you want?" He said, "Give me all." And it was like this. I said, "You're not gonna eat all that." He's like, "No, I'm gonna eat it all. It's very nice." I put it in his plate, and he
No,
didn't
बहुत
eat
अच्छा
it.
स्वाद भी बहुत अच्छा.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot.
It's a, you can make it with mom's masala and ghee. You need to have ghee in that. Otherwise, it's very dry. You
Especially,
have,
it's a nice potato substitute.
it's nice, yeah. You have to have
Has the
ghee
same texture.
because
So
ghee is the antidote for
flat
that.
skillet?
That's the
I
only
didn't
thing.
see her.
Without ghee, you
Saute.
cannot make soda.
I didn't see her.
You just
But-
boil it or saute?
So looks like the questions are over now, no?
Chatting. One more
Always another
question.
question.
One more, yeah?
Mahakanchanar, that's also good for the joints,
Yes.
for sore muscles.
Because see, Boswellia is good for cartilage also, good for cartilage, good for joints. Tons of research there. See, there is two kind of Google. You know, Google became very famous in few years, but then now nobody's using Google because it started to damage people's liver. People's liver is not good. So because it's very heating for liver. But this is called Sallaki, Salai Gugulu. It is a Gugulu but not heating. It's cooling for liver, the Boswellia. It's called Sallaki. It is very big deal now, and the nutraceuticals are using because of the research.
We have
But
a lot
one-
of food today.
Yeah, we have less people to eat. Thank you very much.
And we